Well, we want to welcome everybody to our high adventure video today. We're going to talk just briefly about what gear the boys need to bring on the hike. Now, this isn't meant to be all-inclusive, but you can take a look online or at your scout handbook to make sure you have everything. But it'll give you a good idea of some of the basic things the boys need to bring with them. Starting off with a backpack. This right here is an internal frame backpack. They make external frame backpacks as well. Either one is fine. The thing that we want to do with this particular trip is to make sure that all the boys' gear fits either in the pack or on the pack. Past trips we've had young men who are carrying sleeping bags tucked under their arm or by a handle or stuffing a garbage bag under their arm, and that doesn't work out very well. We need young men to be able to have everything in the pack or on the pack. So we'll talk a little bit about weight as we go along the hike, but this is a good backpack. With them, they also need to bring a day pack, and this needs to be able to again fit in the pack or on the pack. But these little day packs, we're going to be doing some base camp hiking, which means we're going to be setting up a camp and then hiking out of the camp. We also may be moving camps, which they will have all their gear in their packs, so they do need to have both if they have one. If they don't have a backpack, a day pack, they could borrow one from a friend or something like that. This can be something as simple as a school backpack. It just needs to be a small pack where they can put their lunch, their compass, some toiletries, things along that line, some water. And water would be the big thing. So the boys need to bring at least 3 water bottles like this. So as we go out through a hike, they have the opportunity to be able to get water throughout the course of the day to make sure they fight off dehydration. So 3 water bottles. They can use something as simple as a plastic water bottle. Doesn't have to be an aluminum one like that. I don't recommend the disposable ones you get that you drink, because over the course of the week they get holes in them and then they don't work anymore. Some of the boys think that you need to have a pack that has a water bladder in it like this, and that's not true. This particular pack does have a water bladder in it, but it's not needed. These water bottle will work just fine. So 3 of these on a trip, and something a little more durable than the disposable ones that you get at the grocery store. Talk a little bit about footwear. There's a wide variety of footwear that's out there. Sneakers or tennis shoes would be kind of a last option. If the boys do not have their own boots, then a decent pair of tennis shoes will work. You don't want to be buying a pair of boots right before the hike. So this is a pair of lightweight hiking boots. They're fairly inexpensive, and they work. I prefer a little heavier boot. Provides a little more ankle support and a little more protection when climbing in the rocks and things like that. But again, the boots need to be broken in. So please don't buy a brand new pair of boots the day before the hike. On top of that, borrowing a pair of boots that don't fit them is not a good idea either for the length of hike that we're going on. Talk a little bit about bulk and weight. These 2 things here are both sleep pads or sleep mats that you can use camping. This one here is much softer, provides a much more cushion. The problem is that it's way too big and it's way too heavy. So I wouldn't recommend anything bigger than this right here. This can strap onto the back of a pack fairly easy. It's very light and does provide some cushion there. So again, we're trying to cut down weight and bulk. Similarly, sleeping bags. These old style sleeping bags are very heavy. They're very bulky to strap onto a backpack. So if you can get a smaller one, and they make ones that are much smaller than this, that would be important. Get one, though, that is going to be warm enough. We're going to be camping at some high elevations, meaning we're going to be up around the snow. So you want a sleeping bag that is rated, so that if it gets cold enough to frost at night, that the boys won't be freezing. So again, bulk and weight, so smaller sleeping bag, warm, would be good. Tents. This is a larger, supposed to be a 6-man tent. It can sleep 4 fairly comfortably. It's really too big to bring on a backpacking trip like this, so I'll bring a smaller one. Not every boy needs his own tent. If he can partner up with another boy that's coming, and they can share a tent, that would be ideal. One can carry the tent, on the way in, and the other one can carry it on the way out. But they do need to have arranged that in advance. Water filters. If they have a water filter, great, bring it. If they don't have one, there'll be enough with the group that they don't need to go out and buy their own. They're very expensive, and like I say, there'll be enough if they don't have one. But please, if they do have one, bring it. Sunscreen, I would say, is a must. A small bottle or container of sunscreen would be great. If it's really sunny and hot all week, we don't want the boys to burn. Some camp soap. This can be used for washing dishes or washing boys. You can imagine what our young men smell like after a week of hiking around all day. So we do like them to kind of take a towel bath in a stream or a lake or something where they can wet a towel, so they need to bring a towel, use some soap to kind of sponge bath themselves down a little bit. Some hand sanitizer is also a small bottle, again, is a great idea, so before their meals they can sanitize their hands. A thing of chapstick is a must. Every boy needs to have a thing of chapstick in his pocket. If they have any type of medications or anything along that line, they need to bring that with them, and they also need to let their leader know what it is that what their medical conditions are, what dosage they need to take, things like that. Lighter, they need to have a lighter or matches. Lighters, I like lighters better. We get used to in scouting talking about matches, but lighters work great. Toilet paper. Don't send your boys with big rolls of toilet paper if you can. Again, it's just bulk. It just adds a lot of room. It's not that they're heavy. This is a small roll of toilet paper that you can buy at like Walmart. The other thing you can get that works out very well is actually wet wipes. These are biodegradable wet wipes you can buy at Walmart. I'd encourage the boys to bring that. Along with that line, there are no outhouses or latrines or bathrooms on the trail, so the boys need to have a little shovel. Again, they sell these at really any store that has camping supplies. These are dig little cat holes out in the wilderness, so they need to have one of those. Every boy should have a first aid kit, which should include some moleskin in it. Moleskin is for blisters. If you don't know what that is, you can ask anybody in the camping section and they'll be able to tell you what moleskin is. But first aid kit with some moleskin. Let's talk a little bit about camp stoves. This is a small mixed fuel camp stove. It just screws on top of one of these blended fuel tanks. There's a wide variety of them that burn on different things. You can get white gas, you can get solid fuel, you can get all kinds of cook stoves, but the boys need to have one of these. And they need to have enough fuel with them to last for the week. Now you can get, this is an inexpensive solid tablet cook stove. Here's some of the solid tablets. This works very well. The only issue with this here is the solid fuel tablets are a little more expensive. So by the time you're done buying a week's worth of tablets, it's you're going to spend some money doing it. This little pack was $8, and you usually burn about 2 to 3 tablets per meal to cook your food. And this has 12 tablets in it. So you can see you'll go through some money in the tablets, even though the stove is inexpensive. GPS compass. If they have a compass, that'd be great. We'll have GPS with us as far as the adult leaders. If they got a GPS, that'd be a great thing to bring too, and if they know how to use it. Normally on hikes, I'd say maps are critical. The adult leaders on this particular hike, we're going to bring all the maps for the adults and the squad leaders. A knife. Each boy should have a pocket knife with him. Now this is a good example of what to bring and what not to bring. This knife is a great knife, but it's just too big, it's too bulky, it's too heavy. So a knife like this, or a big Rambo knife, we've seen some of the boys carry, it's not appropriate for what we're doing. Small pocket knife, it can even be smaller than this, will work out just fine, and it's much lighter weight. Same goes with flashlights. This is a fantastic flashlight. It's a 4D mag light, and it has a great beam. It's just way too heavy for what we're doing. So a little headlamp like this is all they need. Runs on 3 AAA batteries and will last all week long. The other nice thing is that because it's an LED, the bulbs don't break. For what we need, this type of a light will work just fine. They need to bring some type of rain gear, and we'll talk about this in another segment of the video when we talk about clothing. But a poncho, you can get a small lightweight poncho like this, inexpensive. They're not very durable, but they will work if it's pouring rain. You can get a little heavier poncho, something like this would work out. But again, don't pack them too heavy. Some garbage bags. Having a few extra garbage bags like this, there's a wide variety of uses or things that we might need a garbage bag for. So having a few garbage bags is a great idea. Every boy needs to have their own cook kit. This is an inexpensive one. You can get it at Walmart or any of the camping stores, and it'll work just fine. Obviously, there are some nicer ones that have a few more creature comforts to them, but something like this will work. They do need to bring their own utensils, so not just the cook kit, but they need forks, knives, spoons, things along that line to eat with, and a cook kit. In a couple other segments, we'll talk about food, what type of food to bring, and we'll talk about clothing, what type of clothing to bring. But this is to give you a basic idea of some of the basic gear that the boys should bring and stuff that they shouldn't bring. If you have any questions, you can call your scout leaders. We appreciate you sending your boys, and we look forward to a wonderful trip. Thank you.